Oh, hello there, welcome, I'm so glad you could join me. Today, we're embarking on a journey through time, a journey that explores one of the most transformative periods in human history. We'll be diving deep into the aftermath of a global conflict that reshaped not only nations, but also the very fabric of our world. World War II changed everything. It was a cataclysmic event, a turning point that altered the course of civilization in profound and lasting ways. The war touched every corner of the globe, leaving an indelible mark on societies, economies, and political landscapes. When it ended in 1945, after years of unimaginable suffering and sacrifice, the world held its breath, anticipating a return to normalcy. But the world didn't just snap back to normal. The damage was too extensive, the changes too fundamental. The pre-war world was gone, replaced by something new, something uncertain, and something that demanded a complete re-evaluation of everything. Imagine a giant puzzle tossed in the air, a puzzle representing the nations, cultures, and ideologies of the world. When the pieces landed, scattered and rearranged by the forces of war, the map looked different. Familiar landmarks were gone, replaced by new configurations and unexpected juxtapositions. New borders appeared, etched onto the landscape by treaties, agreements, and sometimes, sheer force. These lines represented not just territorial changes, but also shifts in power, influence, and allegiance. Old ones vanished, erased from the map as empires crumbled and old orders dissolved. The world was in a state of flux, with the very definition of nationhood being challenged and redefined. And even new countries were born, rising from the ashes of war with newfound independence and a burning desire to forge their own destinies. These new nations represented a break from the past, a chance to build a better future free from the constraints of colonialism and oppression. The winners of the war, the Allied powers, found themselves in the unprecedented position of having the power to redraw the world, to shape the geopolitical landscape for decades to come, while the losers, those who had waged war and lost land, resources, and in some cases saw their nations split apart, their identities fractured. For millions upon millions of people, this meant waking up one morning to find themselves in a new country, overnight becoming citizens of a nation they had never known, or, even more tragically, seeing their homeland divided, torn apart by ideological differences and political machinations, separating families and communities. It was a time of immense upheaval, a period of profound uncertainty, as people struggled to adapt to the new realities of a world irrevocably changed. And it was a time of mixed emotions, a complex tapestry woven with threads of hope, despair, and everything in between. There was the crushing weight of loss, the ever-present fear of the unknown, but also a resilient hope for lasting peace, a yearning for a future free from the horrors of war. So, let's take a journey together through this new, post-war map, a map etched with the scars of conflict and the promise of renewal. Let's explore how these dramatic changes shaped the lives of ordinary people, how they coped with displacement, division, and the challenges of rebuilding their shattered world. We'll delve into the stories of division, the physical and ideological barriers that separated communities and nations. We'll witness the incredible resilience of the human spirit, the unwavering determination to rebuild and recover in the face of unimaginable adversity, and we'll celebrate the hope that emerged from the chaos, the unwavering belief in a brighter future that fueled the efforts to create a better world. These new lines on the map, these seemingly arbitrary divisions of land, didn't just delineate territory. They fundamentally changed destinies, altering the course of countless lives and shaping the future of generations to come. This is a story of human strength, of the extraordinary capacity of individuals and communities to overcome even the most devastating circumstances. And it's a story of the enduring search for connection in a fractured world, the unwavering desire to bridge divides and build a more unified and compassionate future. Come with me as we unravel the complexities of this pivotal moment in history and explore the enduring legacy of the Great Shift. Europe was exhausted after the war, but peace didn't bring unity. The Soviet Union and the Western Allies, once partners, became rivals, each with their own vision for Europe. The continent split, Communist East, Democratic West. Winston Churchill called the divide the Iron Curtain, an invisible but powerful barrier. Families, friends, and entire ways of life were suddenly separated. Travel, ideas, and even music struggled to cross this new border. The dream of a united Europe faded, replaced by suspicion and division. Germany felt the split most deeply. After the war, it was divided into 4 zones, each controlled by a different Allied power. Soon, these zones hardened into 2 countries, West Germany, democratic and Western, East Germany, communist and Eastern. Berlin, deep in East Germany, was also split. West Berlin became a Western island behind the Iron Curtain. In 1961, the Berlin Wall went up, dividing families and friends overnight. The wall became the starkest symbol of the Cold War. For decades, Germany lived with this wound, a daily reminder of a nation divided. Healing would take generations. Poland's borders were dramatically shifted west after the war. The Soviet Union took Poland's eastern lands. In return, Poland received former German territory in the west. Millions of Poles were forced to leave their homes and start over in unfamiliar places. Germans living in the new Polish lands were expelled or fled. It was a time of mass uprooting and loss and remarkable resilience. Despite the pain, Poles rebuilt their lives and communities. The map changed, but the spirit of Poland endured. It's a story of courage in the face of overwhelming change. The end of World War II reshaped Asia as well. Japan lost its empire and, under American occupation, became a peaceful democratic nation. Korea, freed from Japanese rule, was split at the 38th parallel. North under Soviet influence, South under American. This division became permanent, leading to the Korean War and 2 separate countries. Across Asia, old empires crumbled and new nations like India, Pakistan, and Indonesia emerged. Independence brought hope, but also new conflicts and challenges. Drawing new borders often meant displacement and strife. Asia entered a new era, full of promise, but also peril. After the war, travel became a challenge, especially in Europe. The Iron Curtain wasn't just an idea, it was fences, guard towers, and suspicion. Crossing from east to west required special permissions, often impossible to get. For many in the east, travel to the west was a distant dream. Even Westerners faced restrictions and surveillance when visiting the east. The joy of discovery was replaced by anxiety and barriers. This lack of free movement kept people apart and fueled mistrust. The world felt smaller and more divided than ever. Borders and walls, those imposing physical barriers, didn't just divide land on a map. They weren't simply lines drawn on the earth to delineate territories and political ideologies. Their impact went far beyond the geographical. They cut through the very fabric of society, leaving deep scars on the human heart. They tore families and friendships apart, creating chasms where once there was unity and shared experience. Imagine the pain of seeing your loved ones just across the divide, yet being unable to reach them, to embrace them, to share the simple joys and sorrows of life. Letters, the lifeline of connection, took weeks, sometimes months to arrive, if they arrived at all. Each word was precious, a fragile link across the void, but the delay only amplified the longing and the uncertainty. Phone calls were rare and monitored, every conversation scrutinized, every word potentially twisted. The simple act of hearing a loved one's voice became a tense, anxiety-ridden experience, a constant reminder of the ever-present surveillance. And visits, the most cherished of opportunities, became nearly impossible, subject to bureaucratic whims and political tensions. The dream of a simple reunion, a shared meal, a heartfelt conversation, was often crushed by the cold reality of border control. Weddings, joyous celebrations of love and commitment, were marked by empty chairs, by the absence of beloved family members who were unable to cross the divide. Funerals, moments of grief and remembrance, were made even more painful by the inability to mourn together, to offer comfort and support in person. The shared sorrow was amplified by the physical separation, and birthdays were missed. Lives unfolded in parallel, separated by politics, each milestone a painful reminder of what was lost, of the shared experiences that could never be. Some, driven by desperation and the yearning for connection, risked everything, their lives and their freedom, to cross borders under the cover of darkness, or to send secret messages, hidden within packages or whispered through intermediaries. These stories, often untold and unheard, show the enduring power of human connection, the unwavering desire to bridge the divides that separate us. They reveal the extraordinary lengths people will go to for love and family, for the chance to be reunited with those they hold dear. Friendships forged in childhood and nurtured over years, and young love, blossoming with hope and promise, were often stifled by suspicion, restrictions, and the ever-present fear of betrayal. The emotional toll was immense, a constant undercurrent of anxiety, grief, and longing that permeated every aspect of life. It was a world fractured, a sense of isolation that gnawed at the soul, a feeling of being trapped between two worlds, belonging fully to neither. Yet, even in the face of such adversity, the desire to connect endured, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It was a flicker of hope that refused to be extinguished, even in the darkest of times, a reminder that even the most formidable barriers cannot ultimately crush the human need for love, connection, and belonging. Throughout history, borders have been etched onto our world, often with profound consequences. These lines on maps, once stark and unyielding, have shaped the destinies of nations and the lives of countless individuals. Today, in many parts of the world, we witness a remarkable shift. Many of those hard borders have softened, but the echoes of division remain. The physical barriers may have crumbled, but the memories and the impact of those divisions linger in our collective consciousness. We can still see the remnants of past conflicts and separations, serving as a reminder of the challenges overcome and the work that still needs to be done. The lines drawn after World War II, in the aftermath of immense global upheaval, still shape our world and relationships between nations. These decisions, made in the wake of war, continue to influence international diplomacy, trade agreements, and cultural exchanges. The legacy of these historical boundaries is deeply embedded in the geopolitical landscape we navigate today. Looking back, we see the human cost of division, the personal stories of separation, loss, and longing. Walls separate more than land, they separate people. They sever connections between families, friends, and communities, creating artificial barriers that disrupt the natural flow of human interaction and cultural exchange. The impact on individuals and families can be devastating, leaving lasting scars that span generations. Borders can create fear and mistrust, fostering an environment of suspicion and animosity between neighboring communities and nations. The presence of armed guards, checkpoints, and surveillance technologies can contribute to a sense of unease and insecurity, hindering cooperation and understanding. But they also reveal the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the challenges and obstacles, people find ways to connect, to help each other, and to maintain hope for a better future. Even in the darkest days when conflict and division seem insurmountable, people found ways to reach out and keep hope alive. Acts of kindness, compassion, and solidarity emerge even in the most challenging circumstances, demonstrating the enduring power of the human connection. Understanding this history with all its complexities and contradictions helps us make sense of our present. It provides valuable context for understanding current geopolitical dynamics, international relations, and the ongoing challenges of building a more peaceful and interconnected world. It reminds us to consider the impact of borders on ordinary lives. Borders are not just abstract lines on a map, they have a tangible impact on the daily lives of people who live near them, cross them, or are affected by the policies that govern them. And to value the connections that survive even the deepest divides. These connections, built on shared humanity, mutual respect, and a commitment to understanding, are essential for building a more just and equitable world for all. Today, there's hope. Many former barriers are now open. In Europe, people travel freely where the Iron Curtain once stood. Families reunite, students study abroad, and cultures mix. Not all borders are open, but progress inspires us. Every bridge built, every connection made, brightens the world. Travel and meeting others break down stereotypes and build understanding. Let's cherish these freedoms, learn from the past, and work for a future of peace and friendship. Imagine a world where everyone can connect. What a beautiful thought.